This is the school in the community. This is what the kids were going to. And the professor would show up every once in a while. Nobody knew how to read or write. So we thought, well, you know, we're taking care of the land, nature, but what about human nature? So we started a school on the farm. And this is La Escuelita Altagracia, at La Finca Altagracia. And we built 2 dormitories because that way if volunteers want to come, they could stay on the farm. And so this is the first volunteer teacher because I'm at Middlebury College. And really was here to tell you, I start proselytizing when they first arrive. And by the time they graduate, they want to volunteer. This is incredible. This is why I have hope for the world. They want to volunteer to go there and spend a year teaching at the little school in the community. This was our first teacher, Laura Marno. She went down, and she was the first teacher at the school in the community. And once we had a school, and we have readers in the community, we needed a biblioteca. So this is the biblioteca in La Finca Altagracia. And these are kids that have become readers in the community. And soon, they're writing their own books, and they become writers in the community. And this is where the stories come from. The story of the Siguapas. You know, part of the thing that happened when people say, how did you get involved in children's books? I would take books down, translated into Spanish, but written by North American writers. And the stories that the kids knew weren't in the books. So I thought, you know what? We can write these stories and write picture books that have to do with this community. So the story of the Siguapas, the secret footprints, came out of the involvement with the community. Oh, this is, okay. So one of the volunteers, I forget what's in the slideshow, it's endless, we're almost at the end. One of the volunteers in the community, her special focus was the young women in the community. I mean, young women become mothers in this community when they're 13, 14, 15. And they leave school, they leave their education, and they have babies to take care of. So she started a reading group in the community, a reading club of the young women in the community. And the first book that they read, which was very moving, was In the Time of the Butterflies, En el Tiempo de las Mariposas. It was, I mean, they knew how to read, but this was the first reading club they did, and the prize was a field trip. They hired a van, and they went down to a museo in Manas Mirabal, having read the book. They hired a van. They were crazy. They left the kids behind, and they went down from the mountain, and they met the Rey Mirabal. And our voluntaria, right there, she looks totally Dominican, doesn't she? She's from India. She went to Middlebury College, and she decided to spend her year in the Dominican Republic after graduating, Rio. And she's the one that started this reading club. So it's amazing for these young women to have read a book, to meet the Rey Mirabal, to feel this connection with their history. So this is why this picture is there. Well, we're going to race through this is going to be the final slide I'll talk about. When people talk about my writing process, they think I sit down and have a very clear idea of how to write. It's really messy. This is what it feels like to be a writer. You have all these little pedacitos. You have Balbina who dressed in purple. You have the story of the people that hid in the closet. You have the Theo with the glass eye, you couldn't tell where it was. You have the Hermanas Mirabal, you have the Pillo. You have all these little pieces, and you have a story to tell. And you have to figure out what that story is going to be, because nobody's written a recipe for it. Nobody's told you one part Balbina, one part, no, you have to figure it out. And one of my favorite quotes above my computer when I'm a writer is a prayer that the Mayan weavers say before they weave the huipils, that the beautiful huipils, the beautiful patterns. And the prayer is, grant me the intelligence and the patience to find the true pattern. Grant me the intelligence and the patience to find the true pattern, to be able to really sit with it and try to figure it out, and to write it out, and you have to take things out. You pull this thread out, the whole thing se desbarata. You have to start again, but you weave it and weave it, because this is your calling, to be the storyteller. So I like to show that picture to show that it doesn't all come all as a finished piece. And so I should read a little bit from the book, I hear.